Hi, my name's David Linton. I want to share with you some information about the different data services that you can run Updata Analytics on. And when I first started Updata a long, long time ago, it was all about getting data into the software. And this was before the internet. And we used to take data off teletext with a circuit board in a computer. And that's how we got the data in. And that was really where Updata came from. And so even today, getting the data you need is always a bit of a challenge. But the idea behind Updata is that it sits on multiple data services. So when you get Updata for the very first time, or if you're an existing user, you just click data services on the fly. You can configure these data services, and the ones that are in this bronze color are bronze. The silver or white color is silver. That's so the bronze is in all our products, the silver is in our professional product, and the gold is in our top of the range enterprise product. And you can run these feeds into Updata just by simply swapping these uh, buttons in and out live. And you may have to, for some, you may need to enter a key. But you can see, for example, I'm subscribed to Bloomberg, London Stock Exchange, LSEG, Workspace, and Norgate Data, which is a great Australian service. And I just wanted to share with you, and I often swap in Metastock when I'm going to record a special video on Metastock for you. But the key point is just how good are these data services. So I just want to talk you through each of these. And one of the big advantages of Updata is you can swap these data services. You can run multiple feeds. So if you don't have everything you want in one service, you can add another service, and there really is no limit. So that when you come to open your charts, you'll see that you have a number of tabs. And so literally, if I type gold here, that is coming from LSEG Workspace. And if I type it again, but this time I go in Bloomberg, and it should remember the codes. You can see it does. And now that chart is coming from Bloomberg. So it's really agnostic as to where the data comes from. Provided you're subscribed to those services, you can run Updata on top as if you would run on top of Excel. So it's really very, very straightforward. So coming back to the data services menu, let's just talk you through these feeds. So if I go to all data services, bar chart is a great feed from I know the guys well in Chicago. It does have a symbol limit, and you pay by the number of symbols you want. So this is good if you trade a handful of things. Very strong on commodities coming from Chicago, and US stocks. But if you wanted to have global coverage, you're probably going to hit your symbol limit quite quickly. And any one of these you can just click on, and it's going to take you to the website and our review of them, and then you can go off to the website, and you can see those services, all of those services. So Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange. And then, of course, top of tree is Bloomberg. I'm running Bloomberg here. And so basically, Updata sits on top of Bloomberg. That is top of the range global coverage, which is well known in the professional market. Coinbase is another crypto exchange, and DTN is a good US exchange feed, very good for futures, very fast, speedy, timely feed. Also covers UK stocks. So that is a sort of semi-professional level feed. If you just want raw data into Updata, that's great. Then we have end of day historical data. Global data feeds is an Indian data service. Then come the brokers. IG Markets and Interactive Brokers are two where if you've got those platforms, you need to ask to be enabled for third-party access, and you can run Updata on top of those broker services that you already have, and that's quite a cost-effective way of getting data in. Intrino is basically quite a sort of professional level data feed. Again, you can click on that and it will take you to our website, our rating, and then to their website. LSEG Workspace. So this used to be Reuters, and then it was Refinitiv Icon, and then the latest incarnation is LSEG, which stands for London Stock Exchange Group Workspace. Now, I use Workspace mostly. I'm analyzing global coverage for lots of different clients, and I do the LSEG webinars every month, so I need Workspace. But my data coming in here, this is all coming from Workspace, but it could equally be coming from any of the data feeds that I'm subscribed to. MarketStack provides a shorter history of around 1 year history. It's free, but and it does have UK stocks, but you will find that the data is quite spiky for UK stocks. That's a common problem. And then we get to Metastock. Now, Metastock have Zenith Daily and Zenith Real Time. And as I'll show you in another video, the Metastock service is actually this LSEG workspace. So the history there is that it's the same service, but for private users. So Metastock is by far the best global coverage for private investors, and you have two options there of an end of day service or a delayed service and a real-time service, and the real-time you can draw intraday charts, etc. So those are the feeds we really do recommend if you want global coverage. Then we go to Montel. That's a specialist European energy data feed, and that is really good if you just want to cover European energy. And that's a good way to get in European energy data. And in my system, I run lots of different data services in, and this is, for example, coming from Bloomberg, and this is coming from LSEG, but it could also be coming from Montel. It really doesn't matter where the data is coming from. So that's a really powerful aspect of the data services. And then going down into Norgate data, which I actually have got subscribed to. This is a brilliant end of day feed for Australian, Canadian, and US stocks. Sadly, they don't cover UK, but that is a great service if you want. And they have quite a lot of other things like global indices, and some economic data. Is really a really good feed for just end of day, and that's good for doing lots of scanning and then maybe looking at real time. So I add that in to my my real time feeds where I can just do end of day scans. So Norgate is a brilliant service, great if you're in Australia or you want to cover US stocks. ONA has got free Forex data. So some of these feeds you may not have Forex data, so you can just add that in and you've got Forex data. Our World data is global statistics. That's quite interesting, population, that sort of thing. QuoteStream is global again, and it's quite good, but it does have spikes in the UK data. That is the big issue with a lot of these. And then Refinitiv Icon is the original version of LSEG Workspace, and there was a changeover where people were moving from Refinitiv Icon to LSEG Workspace, and this was a way that they could just migrate. All their codes and everything were the same, the charts were the same. This is now pretty much a legacy system. If you've got data in SQL Server, you can read it straight into Updata. I've got a reader for that, which is really cool. And then Trayport is a dedicated energy trading platform in Europe, and quite a lot of our users run on top of Trayport, and that's a sort of OTC, over-the-counter platform. True Data is an Indian stock market data service, which we're compatible with. And last of all, 12 Data is real-time, but it's US stocks only. So the key thing is with all of these is that you can check out these feeds. Some of these firms will give you a free trial. You can run them into Updata and see how you go, and you can swap and change. But as I say, real time, professional feeds, you're going to be using something like Bloomberg or LSEG Workspace. In energy, you might be using Montel or Refinitiv. Privately, DTN, bar chart, or Metastock for great global coverage. That's what we recommend. So that's a run through our data feeds. You start up Updata, you just go to the data services menu and you plug in your feeds, and away you go.